Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 15th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can clearly see the ridge of high pressure here dominating the Pacific Northwest weather. It's going to hang out with us for a few days here. We'll take a look at the models and see just how long this is going to hang out and what is coming as we go on in through next weekend. Looks like some changes are finally starting to show up in the weather models here, starting to get a bit of agreement. We'll look at those details as we go through the video this morning. Take a look at this. Saturday, Portland 75, Sunday 72, Kelso, Astoria warming up quite nicely on Saturday, maybe even up towards 70 degrees. Look at Eugene, 73 and 68 on Sunday. So, yeah, definitely enjoy this warm weather out there. It's almost going to feel like summertime out there for a couple of these days. Sneaker wave threat does exist as we go through this weekend upcoming here. A lot of people are going to be going out to the coastline here with the nice weather up down the Washington, Oregon coast, up into BC as well. Watch out for that sneaker wave activity. Keep your children and your pets out of the surf zone. Do not turn your back on the ocean. Looking at Western Washington, check it out. Saturday, Seattle may hit 70 degrees here, and if we overperform on that by a degree or two, we could tie or set a daily record high. And another very warm day Sunday, and then Monday before we start to drop back down. We got some troughing showing up as we go on into the midweek period. We'll take a look at those details here in a moment. But look at Enumclaw, Forks, Everett, Centralia, 72 degrees, Arlington, 71. Very warm day on Saturday. Get out there and enjoy that. And here we go. Spokane National Weather Service can get up to the upper 60s, maybe around 70 for some locations here. Now, looking at the high temperatures the next 6 days, this is for Southwest Oregon. Check it out. Look at Brookings today, 72. I think they hit 71 yesterday. Look at Medford warming up quite nicely by the time you get towards Monday. Klamath Falls, Roseburg as well. Very nice. Now, looking at what's going on with the upper levels of the atmosphere, here is that ridge dominating our weather. And you see low pressure down here across the southwest USA, kind of a Rex block pattern here where you get the dominant ridge right over the top of that low pressure system there. Ridge hangs out with this for a bit, and then we start to look off in towards next week as the European and the GFS start to show some troughing arriving here. A little bit difference in timing here. I'll show you the GFS in a moment, but you can clearly see the trough, big ridge building across Alaska, starting this north and northeast flow, helping to carve this trough out here over the Pacific Northwest and starting to bring our temperatures back down and bring the chance of precipitation back into the region. Looking at the GFS now, this is hot up the press as the 12Z run. Put this into motion, and there's the ridge dominating our weather. And if you watch here, once we go in towards Tuesday, the GFS wants to bring this troughing in here a little bit sooner, start that onshore flow and cool us down a bit quicker. So a little bit of discrepancy there by about a day or so on the GFS versus the European, but both models have this strong ridge up across Alaska, driving that north flow back down across Pacific Northwest. Now looking at the GFS hot up the presses, 925 millibars, you can see the winds are offshore right now. That's why we're going to warm up so much here across much of the area, and this is going to be the case as we go on into the day tomorrow. Then we kind of lighten up the gradients a bit here. We get things a bit offshore as we go on in through Monday morning. Not quite as strong, and then the trough starts to try to get going here, and we start to bring some onshore flow as we go on in through Tuesday, at least according to the GFS. And again, a little bit of differences on the timing of that with the European, but by the time you see we get towards Wednesday, you can clearly see the onshore flow returning. Now, looking at the European on the left versus the GFS on the right, just showing you a diagram here of what's going on at about 5,000 feet. You can see the very warm air aloft associated with our anticyclone, the big ridge here, kind of just spinning over the region. And then as we scroll off in towards next week, you'll see the differences emerge here as we start to go through Tuesday. You can see the GFS definitely cooling us down a bit quicker and bringing more of an onshore flow as we go through the day Tuesday. The European wants to hang back on that probably on into Wednesday, but we'll keep visiting that daily. You can kind of see some Arctic air across some of Alberta and British Columbia trying to sneak down into the region here as well. We'll watch that. It's probably helping the trough development here across the Pacific Northwest. National blend of models. This is for today. Check it out. Getting up towards 70 degrees, maybe for some portions of Oregon here. Look at Western Washington. We'll be into the 60s for some areas today. It's going to be even warmer than yesterday. Quite nice out there as we go through the day today. And here's the GFS. So this is what it's calling for today, Friday. You can see the warmth across Southwest Oregon here, the warmth all the way up into British Columbia. And as we go on into Saturday, look at this. The GFS wants to bring Seattle to 69 degrees here. Again, another very warm day here across from the Portland Metro down into the Willamette Valley. And as we go on into Sunday, again, look at that 70 for Seattle maybe. And again, another very warm day. So just kind of pointing that out. And Monday is probably a very nice day again, also with some very warm temperatures. And then we start to cool things down maybe as we go through the day Tuesday. Maybe one more warm day here according to the GFS before we really start to drop things back down as the troughing arrives. Looking at Seattle, again, just pointing it out, we are at 72 and 71 for the weekend coming up here. So there is a chance, it's kind of a long shot right now, but the temperatures have been uptrending a little bit there. So we may get towards some of those daily record highs set way back in 1947. And if we look at yesterday, you can see Astoria hit 62. If you look here, you can see Portland Airport, 66 degrees. And if we go down a little bit further, there's Brookings at 71 degrees yesterday. So yeah, definitely warming up here across the region. Here's SeaTac was 57 yesterday, Everett 54. One of the cool spots around the Puget Sound there. Tacoma Narrows at 55, but we're going to be beating those temperatures today, probably going into the low 60s for some areas. And if you look down towards Vancouver, we hit 66. So here's the total cloud cover. And if you've been watching out there at nighttime, trying to do a little bit of star view, and you've noticed some of the high clouds around. So tonight might be a little bit better. You see kind of a reduction in the high clouds. But as we go through tomorrow morning, we may get some patchy fog out there. We may do that again on Sunday morning, as you can see that kind of hanging out here a bit. And then as we go into Monday morning, one more day here before we start to switch things up and start to bring some clouds maybe back towards the region. We'll watch that day by day. Here's the National Blended Model, Seattle-Tacoma, 62 today and getting up towards 70 on Saturday and Sunday. Maybe underdoing these by a degree or two. We'll see. But we could have some warm weather all the way on and through Tuesday here before we start to drop back down and get back into the grind here of some troughs across the Pacific Northwest. And again, Quileute Airport, this is 500 millibar heights. We've been watching this for the last few days, and you can see that decline as we get towards the midweek period. And good things can't last forever, right? And you can see the very warm temperatures there at 5,000 feet and declining, of course, with the trough's arrival. Now, Spokane, a very warm day is coming up here as well. This goes all the way on and through Tuesday, maybe another warm day on Wednesday. We'll see how that works out. And Astoria, definitely the best day is probably going to be tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. Potentially up towards 70 degrees for Astoria Airport. So probably going to be a lot of people out and about on the coastal areas. And just a reminder to watch out for those sneaker waves. Here's Portland. Check it out. The National Weather Service is calling for what it said 75, I think, on Saturday. So some of these temperatures may be underrepresented here as well. But you can see the very warm 3 days here as we go through Monday and maybe another one there on Tuesday. And the snowpack, of course, is going to take a beating here with this big ridge of high pressure. But when we bring that trough back in here, we may start to be able to rebuild some of that here. So we'll see how these numbers decline over the next few days. No wildfire threat out there. There's actually a little bit of a normal threat there if you go out towards Wednesday, but you're not even worried about that at this time of year. This is just something I'll be showing here as we go on in through the season. There is this, however, though, there's some fire prohibited areas here up across from British Columbia, and they do talk about the very dry fall and winter months they've been getting here. So they're already starting to worry about some of the fire danger as we head into 2024. So just kind of a heads up for that if you are across British Columbia. But yeah, anyway, nice weather incoming here. I mean, get out and enjoy that because we're going back to typical weather here with a troughing coming up as we go towards next week. We'll continue to watch that day by day and break it down. Hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.